Greg Simons, who joins us from Uppsala in Sweden. He's a Russia affairs analyst. Greg, first of all, what do you make about where we are with the conflict, both in Donetsk and in Kursk?
Well, Donetsk, the Kursk incursion has had the effect of throwing all of what was needed to try and hold back what was happening in Donetsk on this fool's errand into Kursk. So now they're short of men and material, which is exacerbated. They continue to get pushed back. The best they can do is to try and plead with the Ukrainian citizens to evacuate, many of which are refusing to evacuate. When it comes to Kursk, what you have there is there's a lot of presence on territory, but it's not being what you'd call occupied, because it's quite a large land area with relatively few troops. And now these troops which they have deployed there are probably going to get cut off because you've got a big bulge going into Russian territory. And they're going to be very soon outnumbered and outgunned without any kind of air cover or any of these things which would help them survive, regards supply and so forth. So they are getting more vulnerable for each day. But of course, they put a shiny thing on it by saying advance. But I mean, it's a meaningless advance because there is not much of value there apart from their occasional long-range attacks on the Kursk nuclear power plant.
Dasha was just telling us that the government in Russia is telling the people there that the strategy is to squeeze the Ukrainians before then expelling them from the country. The longer the squeeze goes on, surely, the longer it takes, that's the harder it is to give that message to the Russian people who've been told all this time that the Russian military is strong, it's fast, it's agile, it's quick. You know, that when it comes to military maneuvers, the Russian military is superior, but it's taking longer to expel the Ukrainians.
If you look at the bigger picture, Ukraine has just deployed all of their strategic reserve, more or less, into Kursk. Now, the strategic reserve is something that the Russians have been trying to get out of hiding so that they can destroy it. And now it is in the open. What is happening now is that it looks like a success. So Ukraine is committing more and more manpower and material to this, which is what the Russians have been wanting to do for a while, to engage these forces in the open. So from a military strategy, Ukraine is doing everything that Russia could have asked them to do. But of course, this needs to be explained to the public who might not necessarily understand the military strategy side of it.
Yeah, but you've explained it well for us, Greg. Really appreciate your time. Thank you. Greg Simons there, Russia affairs analyst, joining us from Sweden.